That's a way to introduce a live. Is those voices right there? Just keep doing that. Do it again, Katie. Do it for the audience.
I'm glad everyone is joining. How is everyone doing tonight?
Hello and welcome to 1-900 Shenanigans.
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Our viewership is about to go up significantly.
Or tank. Everybody's gonna run.
Yeah.
Pretty sure tanking is not what's going to happen here. Not after Thanksgiving. People are like, "Thank you, Jesus! It's a free 900 number on YouTube." We just got seriously X'd out of YouTube community though. We're gonna have to find another medium. Good evening. How are you guys?
Good. Good.
I think the other voices sounded better. Go back to the other voice.
I'm good, Tara. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thanks for asking, Tara.
If y'all will just share this link right now, I'll keep them talking this way.
It's
So
I can do this all night.
I feel like they should be calling a 1-800 number that is naughty.
That's why I said 1-900 Shenanigans.
It's only $3.50 a minute.
Now we just need Tara to like put up her hands. Katie and Amber start talking, and it's got my like little Tara infomercial
Oh my god!
put together for her OnlyFans.
We are going to be screenshotted or video recorded and put on OnlyFans without our permission. That's what's going to happen. People are going to make money off of
Makes
us.
me money. I don't care. You want to see my feet? I'll show you my feet.
Has to be nude shots, nude feet.
Oh
nude
my
feet.
God. Let me hear. Did I just hear that correctly? Because I'm trying to get back to my house. I'll show you my feet. Is that what?
Yeah, that's what she
Yeah,
said.
but I
Okay.
have my socks on, so nobody got anything.
Oh, okay.
She has Amish feet right now. They're covered.
Yeah, I'm in my fuzzy pajama pants.
Those are cute.
Like-
I have a blanket that looks like that. If you want to pick it up next time you're here, it'll match your pants perfectly.
I mean, it's ugly, but if it's as comfy as these pants are, then
Super soft and comfy, Macy.
I will. I'll
Chloe
take it.
Macy, you've had one for a
Hey,
while.
if it's comfy, who frickin' cares?
Yeah, I don't care.
Awesome.
All about the blankies.
Yes, comfy, cozy. Oh, we got the chat already going tonight. Hello, Patrick and Maxine and Shannon. Bianca's in the house. Thank you, Bianca, for modding tonight. I still want to say modify, but that's not the right word. But it's what I want to automatically go to. And CB Slinger, our local hemorrhoid, is with us. And then I think I saw, who else I saw? Texas Blue Bonnets. And then Robin. And Get to Ducking Point from NYC. I feel like that's somebody we know. But we'll see what kind of shenanigans they start in the chat. So welcome to Shenanigans. I don't think I missed anybody in the
There
chat.
must be somebody that has or I have blocked because I didn't see it.
It's at the very top.
Oh, okay.
Top of live chat. Yeah, they chimed in at like 7 o'clock. They were ready
Well,
to go.
I was going to say that too a couple of times. Like, I don't see the chat that you're talking about. So
oh,
I
I
must
see
not.
it. I don't think it was meant badly.
No,
Yeah.
are you on your phone, Kitty, or are you on your computer?
Yeah, well, I'm going to get back home. So if I need to like enable something, I will.
Okay.
Sorry. I'll be back with y'all in a couple minutes.
We'll be here. Hello, Kathy.
Hello.
Hold on a second. Hello, Kathy. I have to like take her out and then put her back in. That didn't sound the way I wanted it to, but I'll stand by it. How are you?
Take it out and put it back in. Is that what you said?
Oh my
That's what I said.
gosh.
I got to take her out and put her back in.
I'm
That's
good.
what I said. She's not amused.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
I think we finally passed the crazy testing phases of the video and mics.
I hope so. It's only been 10 episodes, or about to be 10 episodes.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. It's exciting. I think 10's a nice little milestone. Hopefully we can keep going. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kathy, you just come from work?
Yes, kind of. Eric is out of town, so I'm trying to
Oh.
help. He started a new job, so he's working for Ford. He got offered.
Okay.
They sought him out, which is pretty cool. He wasn't looking for a job, but He couldn't say no to the offer. So
That's awesome.
he has his first day was today. So he had to go fly into Detroit and meet the team that he's going to be leading. So it's going to be
Very
a little crazy here for a while he's doing the new job thing. As far as Asher's like signed up for basketball, he's baseball practice, he's doing football tournaments. It's just a lot. So anyway, yeah, I'm having to help with all that kind of stuff because his mom's at home with the baby.
Oh, wow. Well, hopefully it'll be a quick transition for him, but congrats on his new job.
Yeah, thanks. He's
Kind of
excited.
cool.
Yeah, he's excited.
And is
I
your
knew-
work? Oh, go ahead.
Mine is the same. I'm exhausted.
Oh.
I didn't work at all over Thanksgiving, which is nice. So I just said I'm not doing it.
Good.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Actually got a holiday weekend.
I did. And Eric and Asher were in Florida. Asher was invited to play in a baseball tournament. He got MVP of his team. And each game they play, I know we got to get going, but each game they play in this tournament, one player is selected to get a coin. And the coin is used for the promoters of the tournament. They're going to draw and see who the coins go to, and whoever they pick, they have a chance to go to Spain next summer.
Wow.
Cool.
So if Asher gets picked, we're going to Spain, is what I'm saying.
That
Yeah.
doesn't suck.
Sweet.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna send travel vibes your way.
Travel
Wow.
vibes.
I know, right? It's next summer, I think. So we have no information about it, just that it's a possibility. So we'll see what happens. But it was exciting for him to get that. It was a big accomplishment for Asher.
That is really cool. Congrats to him too.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff going on your way.
How are you guys doing? How's everybody on the other side of this camera doing?
Everybody that's well, the chat is active because you missed the soft seductive 900 shenanigans talk to start with. So that was fun. Right away. Good sexy talk. Other
Nice.
than that,
I need to go through it.
yeah, go listen to the first 5 minutes. It's definitely gets the blood pumping.
All right. Well, I won't take up any more time.
You're good. Well, I think for the most part, I think all of us are good. I think everybody's curious to know how Carrie's doing though, because she's been through too much, but we're happy she's here.
I'm doing good.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
She's just short.
No, I'm not.
Definitely. I can't imagine her. I mean, yes, thankful that she's here, but man, yeah, that's a lot.
Watch it,
And-
baby. Watch it.
well, I'm not in the house yet, but I'm near the house. So,
Oh my God, she's
just-
walking in sub-zero temperatures.
Yes, that's
okay, this is not the worst weather I've
Oh,
walked
I
in.
know.
So,
You
You're
astound
walking
me.
right now?
Yeah, she's
Why
walking.
are you walking when it's
right?
like 30 degrees outside?
okay, I've walked when it's worse than this. I literally have walked. I had someone stop me and ask me if I needed help one time.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. You appear to be homeless. Do you need a place to go? It's like
snowing
the blind side
and,
for
like-
Katie. It's not snowing.
I don't know. Yeah,
No, it's you're 30 minutes from me. It is not snowing. Stop it.
No, I'm saying there was a time where I was walking. It was 15 degrees out. This was last year. It started snowing and it was windy. And, I had someone ask, and then it was raining, then snowing, and asked me if I needed help because I walk the back roads. Like it's all country roads. That's what I like to do. And I like that. So this is nothing to me.
Oh my God.
Well,
Ugh.
you can walk. We can walk for all of us then.
Yep.
Katie, I've listened to enough crime podcasts to know that you're gonna get kidnapped.
Okay.
Not in Oxford. She just not in
So-
Oxford.
Do you remember when I took half the gummy and I sent you guys a video? I really was thinking I was going to get kidnapped. I don't know. Go back and see what I sent you because
Uh-huh.
that's what it led me to believe.
Oh my God. Oh my
But-
God.
I'm still here, so I'm not kidnapped. Woohoo!
She's still here. That's amazing. And do you ever walk Old Mill Road? I know that's not what it's called. I don't know the name of it, but you know what road I'm talking about.
I know the road you're talking about, and I have. It's been a while because
That
it's a
one
little
freaks
bit.
me out in daylight.
It can be creepy for sure. Because yeah,
Well,
we
it looks
went
like
there.
we've done enough true crime stuff that Carrie, I need to send you the Google map road view of this road I'm talking about, and you'd be like, when do we do our next investigation? Because it will be there. There are dead bodies over in that area for sure.
Probably some cryptids too.
It's got well, and I used to work at that old mill restaurant because it's an old flour mill, and then it turned into a restaurant. Used to work out there, and it was a little better looking back then, but that was like 25 years ago, and it's all
It's
overgrown
yeah,
and creepy with dead bodies in the weeds. Oh
for sure. Don't say dead bodies. Don't say it.
It's just said dead
Um,
bodies and
that I
weeds. Oh my God. You
it does. It
did.
does look like there's some dead bodies
Now
hidden
she's
over
always
was-
there.
gonna be.
Like,
She's gonna
I
be
was like
looking
trying
for-
to think for a minute. Did I really hear her say what she
Yes,
just
you
really
did.
said?
if you saw
Yeah.
that road, even on Google Maps, you would think the same thing too. When I was down in Oxford, Katie, the last time when I left your house, I think
I
um,
laughed because of what you said when you left my house, but
God. When I left, I went ahead. I'm like, you know what? And I typically go north out of the town that Kitty lives in. It's a little rural community, and I used to live there. And I often would go north to get to all the north towns and to go to Wichita and whatnot. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll go down that old mill road. I forgot it dead ends. Can you imagine the panic attack I wanted to have when I got to the end of the road? I'm like, oh, look, this is where I die in the very place that I hate the most. This is awesome. I'm so excited to be here. I gotta go. So we didn't even get on track to get off track. So I'll try to derail us back to where we're supposed to go.
yep.
So a few weeks ago, I had somebody contact me on that burner number, and I need to put that banner up here in a second. And they said, hey, you guys need to talk about body weight. You guys need to talk about being too heavy, too thin. And this person happens to be a nurse, and it's actually somebody that I do know personally. And she said it's really important we talk about that because she was very adamant. She wanted to come on the show, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her, but we can always come back to this subject matter. But she was talking about how that social it's a social media thing. I don't even know where it got started from, but they say, big is beautiful, and don't be ashamed of your body. No body shaming. All bodies are beautiful, and all this jazz. And she had said, no, I'm a nurse. Not all bodies are beautiful. If you are morbidly obese, it's unhealthy. That is not a good thing to tell a person if they are morbidly obese, that it's beautiful, because it counteracts what their doctors are trying to do for them. And so it's like, oh, that could be a touchy subject, because are we supposed to talk about weight in a very open fashion? Like, people come up to me, I'm very tall and thin, and so I get comments probably to the point I don't even notice them anymore, but I get comments consistently about my weight, but not in the same way that somebody who is heavier set does. Like, I would think that those may impact they may hit a little differently. I don't know. So I wanted to bring that to the table, to the shenanigans, and see what you guys thought. And I've heard some interesting points in the past, and one of them if it comes up naturally, fine. If not, I'll force it up. But what do you guys, how do we start this off? What do you guys think?
My first thought is, sorry, everyone is beautiful. All bodies are beautiful. I get what the thought is, morbidly being obese, and it really comes down to splitting it. You're still beautiful, but you need to be healthy. You need to be healthier.
Right.
You need to, because I've just seen and heard too much negativity regarding bodies and what people think and perceive and society, and it just rubs me the wrong way. That's my 2 cents.
I totally agree with that, Katie. I mean, I totally understand somebody, talking about the health side of it. And there is definitely a point where, you've got to maybe make some changes. But when it comes to just looks, I mean, we are people, we are personalities, like we have these brains that are literally walking around in a meat suit that we've been handed, right? I mean,
Mhm.
there's and there's sometimes nothing you can do about that. So, I mean, yeah, you can eat right, you can exercise, yada yada yada, but like your particular body type, whether or not you are predisposed to being overweight or underweight or tall or short or whatever, that your body should not have an impact on who you are as a person. You are not a number on a scale. Um,
So it's
and
not an identity, is what you're trying to get across. It's
right,
not an
right.
identity.
It's definitely not an identity. Now, I mean, health factors definitely aside. Um, yeah, I do believe that everybody is beautiful and well based on your personality, right? I
I
mean,
was gonna
there are ugly people out there
Yeah,
who
for
might look
sure.
like a model, right? So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Kathy and Carrie?
we
Yeah,
could say a
so
lot about this topic right now, but
I
go
have
ahead.
some thoughts too, but I want to get everybody's out there.
I've struggled with weight ever since I had my second child. I'm not morbidly obese and I'm not extremely thin. I'm just an average, I think, body. But to me, in my mind, I've always struggled because of my history with being body shamed. I've struggled with that. I have Hashimoto's, so it's constantly a fluctuating weight issue for me. And there's nothing I can do about it. So I just have to accept it and live as healthy as I can, like Amber's saying. You just have to make the choice to be healthy and to eat healthy and do the best you can. But I kind of see where your nurse friend is coming from, even though it's not, their personality might not be reflected by their look.
Mhm.
People in society are going to judge people by how they look, and that's not ever going to change. You're going to have people that do that.
Yeah.
And that goes from being drastically thin, unhealthy thin, where you see bones, or you have a morbidly obese person. There's somebody on Instagram, and I wish I remembered her name, but when you see her on Instagram, her post, you would think, oh my God, she's anorexic. She's got to eat. She needs to put something in her body to gain weight. But she has a medical condition, Crohn's disease, that is eating her body away, and she
Mhm.
cannot hold food down. So before we judge, is what I'm saying, we have to understand what that person might be going through. And to some people, they're going to judge anyway. So they're not going to care. But I understand what it feels like being that person that has constantly struggled with weight, on how it might appear to somebody looking at me, because I've been there.
Well,
But
I think we're sorry, go ahead.
that's okay. And yeah, everybody is beautiful. It's personalities. Until you get to know somebody, you're going to still judge. So that's just how our society has been accustomed to being. You look at somebody and you think, oh my God, what's wrong with that person? Unfortunately, it's just how we are. I'm not that way. I try not to be, but still, I might see somebody and think, oh my goodness, what's wrong with that person? But then in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that person.
Well,
I don't
that's
have a right to judge.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because you mentioned, skinny person, because I have, and I try not to do it either. It's in my mind, and it's
Mhm.
not anything like terribly bad or anything. But yeah, I have seen like just a skinny person. And in my mind, I'm like, somebody give her a hamburger, like
Yeah.
hamburger and fries and
Yeah.
a big milkshake. Like she needs to eat something.
Yeah.
And I did, yeah, I don't know. And this was in passing. I never like found out who this person was, but I think we're all guilty of it. And if you say you're not guilty of it, I think that you're a liar because I think that it does enter your mind. And, that doesn't mean I don't know.
Doesn't mean you're
We're
bad.
getting off topic. I'm sorry. I digress.
Well, no, you're good. You're good. Carrie, what do you think?
Well, I think as much as I wish that we were not a judgmental society, we just are. And like I think it was Kathy said, that's not going to change. I think that looks and weight and things like that are all in the eye of the beholder, though. So, what I may find attractive, the next person might find completely the opposite, or what might be too heavy for me and a guy might be just perfect for the next woman next to me. So I think it's kind of about maybe reconditioning ourselves. If we know there's nothing, or if we know we have a medical problem or some reason that is causing us to be one way or the other, whatever it is, or if it's our looks, we were born with those, God gave them to us, do the best we can. And if we would try a little harder to not only start teaching the children when they're younger, but also to recondition our own minds for the way we think, because I try really hard not to judge people on things like looks and stuff, but I mean, I catch myself too. And I think that's just part of being human. And we are very visual people. But what I find attractive, the next person doesn't, and so on. And there is truly someone for everyone.
Yeah.
We also have to deal with the media constantly bombarding us with what is supposed to be beautiful.
Oh,
And
yeah, because we don't
when
tell
you're
those skinny models to eat a sandwich when they're eating
right,
like ice cream commercials and fast food commercials. We're not like, oh, she needs to eat a sandwich. No, we see her eating one.
right,
Supposedly, that's the whole
yeah,
point, right? So it looks
it's
like
like we're
she's doing
just
it.
we're brainwashed as a society as to what is supposed to be beautiful when
Now they have AI coming in, taking over, and it's going to get worse.
Right?
yeah,
Oh, I think Carrie and I can come up with an individual that uses AI for a lot of their social media stuff, and it's completely not if you saw the picture, you would not be like, oh, of course, I see who they're trying. That like this is that person. Like it's not completely anywhere near what this
Right.
person looks like at
And
all.
you're
From the
kind of
body size, the
short.
face size.
We're kind of shortchanging our own selves, I think, when we do that too. I don't
Yeah.
know. I like, we're raising our 5-year-old granddaughter with my son, and I see already like she wants to put on all the makeup, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! This was cute last year when you were 4. I'm getting worried now that you're 5, and I mean it's the truth. Like, so I'm trying to teach her. It's you're beautiful anyway, honey. Like all young girls are beautiful. It's when you start to get older and we get acne or we get wrinkles, things like that. We try to cover those up. And you know what? I think women mostly try to cover that stuff up and we want to look better, but it's more so for each other because we're the ones that tear each other down and build each other up.
It's
Mhm.
And
no.
so I think that plays a
Totally
big
agree.
role in it. I
Cannot
mean, I
tell
rarely
you.
ever hear a man talking awful about a woman like I hear women speaking
Mhm.
so horribly about each
yeah.
other.
No,
Women
how
are
many?
way worse.
How expect and it comes to the moment where like we should lift each other up, bitch. I have seen you hold more women underwater with your foot, proverbially
Yes.
speaking, than lifting
Mhm.
them up to no. And so it's so true that you say that because how many times I've been told multiple times by women that hold on just a second so I can see her because I knew she turned her freaking camera on, but the system won't work with me. I can't tell you how many times a woman has been like, oh Tara, you're actually really nice. Just by the way you look, I thought you'd be a total bitch.
I get
And
that
Amber
all
has
the time.
yes. How many
Yeah.
now do you know how many men have said that to me? Zero.
Oh, none. No,
Not a
no,
damn
it's
one.
always women that say that. Yeah. They're
Yeah,
like,
but
"Wow, you're so friendly." And I'm like,
like
"Well, yeah."
the hell did you expect? Well, you're so pretty and tall and you look like a I get this constantly and people don't this is not a compliment. No matter how you spin it, you look like a model. I just thought you'd be so mean.
It's intimidation. They're
That's like
intimidating.
good, fine. I don't care if I'm intimidating because I'm not doing the damn thing. That's
It's like a
their
passive
problem.
aggressive
Well,
remark
it's
to me.
It really is.
it's
Yeah.
are you intimidating or are they intimidated? Because there is a
So
difference.
there is, and
Yeah.
I know when I'm being intimidating, and 9 times out of 10, when I'm
Mhm.
intimidating somebody, it's because we've got something to scrap about. Like there's a reason I need to come in and take charge and command. But they're like, you're so intimidating. I'm like, that's your problem. Because I
Well,
didn't
here's
come in
what
here
I'm
with
going
that
to say.
bathhouse day.
I don't think that you could be intimidating without even knowing it, or
Sure.
realizing it. But
Mhm.
intimidation and confidence, people skew those two sometimes.
Yes, they do. And I do have a lot of confidence. I will walk into a room and look like I own it. Not egotistical, but I'm walking in with a straight and tall back, but I'm 6'1", 145. And I know that sickens people, but that's my size. And I don't care if it pisses somebody off or makes them jealous. That is my size.
I
have
hate you,
medical-
Tara. I
You can
hate
hate me.
you.
Kate. You can hate me. You're 6 foot and you're right there with me. Shut up. I've seen
No,
pictures
I'm
of
not.
you.
You know what? I
But you know
love
what?
you, but I want.
So the heaviest I have been, though, this is what freaks people out. The heaviest I have ever been, and I don't mind to share it, I was 200 pounds when I graduated high school. 18 years old, 200 pounds. That's when you're supposed to be like the peak fighting weight, so to speak. And that was even with having been pregnant 3 times, the closest I got to that was 195 with my second child. So I graduated 200 pounds. So and I got comments from my own family. And if Robin is in the house, and I'm sure my other family members listen just so they have something to bitch about later on, that's fine by me. You guys talk about me behind my back. I'm cool with it. But if Robin's still in the chat, Robin can attest to this. I had to recondition my thinking about heavy people because of the way I was raised. Because I was told heavy people were gross, they're dirty, no self-control, they're poor, they're nasty, you don't want anything to do with them. And now what's ironic about that is half the women in my family are overweight. My mother's mother and her aunt, my cousin is overweight. So but my cousin didn't start off that way. She's had a lot of issues going on that she's fighting with all the time. So she's struggling with it. She's trying to manage herself, but she's fairly healthy. Yeah, you got the other genes. You got and you got the person. Yeah, that person sucked. Yes. Yeah, she did. So I was literally taught that. So I had to, and I didn't know it was impacting me until my dad was like, I think I was, it was a freshman in high school, and you start filling out and your hormones and things start happening, and you're not managing your food very well. And so I was getting a little fluffy, and I would wear crop tops and regular high-waisted jeans, and I had a muffin top. And my dad, honestly, my dad told me, hey kid, you got to back off that chow. My own father was telling me that. And I'm like, and that's when I realized, like, oh shit, I should probably, like, I didn't know I was supposed to be paying attention to that. But so now today I have a certain kind of condition that can mess with my digestive system. I can't eat red meat. So you folks who can have steaks and hamburgers, screw you, because I can't have that kind of sandwich. Okay. I miss it. Somebody breathe on me after eating that, please. That would be great. And I love hamburgers. Oh, but there's, like, to the point that's been made already, there are medical conditions out there that put us in a position that's just hard to fight with. I think at least 3 of us on the panel have had hysterectomies. I've had a partial, and I don't know, Kathy or Amber, have you guys had fulls or partials?
I'm postmenopausal.
Partial.
I still have all my parts.
Okay, so you're postmenopausal, and
On top
Amber,
of Hashimoto's. Yeah.
so you have true issues that are going to make weight loss if you wanted to be super skinny. And Amber, was yours partial or full?
Partial, but my ovaries decided to stop working
Yeah.
about a year and a half after my hysterectomy. So I'm postmenopausal now too.
And I'm pre or peri. I don't remember which one I am, but I'm one of the two because hot flashes
I
suck.
always call it peri or premenopausal, but it's technically perimenopausal.
Okay.
Anyway,
And
I
I'm there
think.
because of I don't temperature weigh, and I have now this is what's great. I have hypothyroidism, which means my thyroid doesn't work the way that it should. So I should, by society standards, be gaining weight without being able to lose it. but my other medical condition makes that not a problem. So I maintain 145 pretty consistently. But my doctor says I'm fine. That's the other thing. People are like, you need to eat a sandwich. Like, oh yeah, I'd eat just fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was put the PhD behind your name and then come back and talk to me.
You know, when I see you this week, I'm not going to give you a hug.
Just give her a hamburger.
Here, cheese, pickles, man,
Not only
everything
do you
on
want
it.
to not only do you want to
McDonald's
insult me,
carbs
you want to put salt into the wound. That's awesome. Here, to have something you can't eat.
I'm just gonna grab your ass.
I mean,
I'll bend down for you. You can grab my ass if you want.
as long as it's meaty, we can when we have something to grab. That'd be great.
Oh shit! Yeah, my ass is meaty.
So, okay, so that's the other thing too. Is I have been told that by guys, I'm too thin for them. They need a full. My second ex-husband actually preferred thicker women. I
So
didn't
does
know
mine.
why, but he does. Your second ex-husband does. Or your current husband
Yeah,
does.
my current husband.
Prefer. Yeah, there's some men that prefer thicker women, and there's different reasons. Have you guys seen the gal on Instagram, Facebook? She's got the cute strawberry wavy blonde hair. And she takes out the tape measure and she's like, do you know how big 12 inches is? And she pulls out the tape measure to 12 inches and she's comparing it to a penis. She's like, where are you going to put that? You know, it's not going in my mouth. And she goes on this whole spree about, 3 inches is okay. 4 inches, great. And she goes all the way up to 12. She's like, 12, I'm dead. I'm dying. We're not coming back to this. And she actually got women who are like, excuse me, some of us bigger girls we enjoy the extra space and guys do too. And she was like, she actually did a part 2 of that video. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty impressive. She's like, look, I spoke too soon because clearly even big girls need love. And that's where those bigger sizes go to. And I had to stop and think, I'm like,
A bigger girl doesn't necessarily have a deeper vagina. So
it's not
I'm
that.
not
No, it's not that. It's not that.
It's,
It was not that. It's positional. It's positional. If you're
Okay,
going
yeah,
from
okay,
behind.
okay. Okay, yeah, I gotcha. All right.
Somebody had to paint the picture for me too, Amber. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
okay.
understand how that one connects. And then somebody's like, here's a picture. I'm like, okay, stop. I get you. I'm good. So Kathy, I remember you telling me that your current husband prefers a more full woman.
Mhm. And I found that out when we were dating and we were telling each other our dating stories. And he told me that he had been with a girl that was bigger and he enjoyed it better than the thin girls that he's used to being with. So
But
that's when
why?
he
This is
realized.
what's great.
I don't know why.
You told me why.
I did.
You did. We were on our way. We were bitching with the girls about the wine glasses and the wine, and we weren't going too slow on our way
I
to.
can't say it on here though. I can't say it on here.
I can.
It's
If you can.
X-rated stuff.
I can say it. I can say it diplomatically.
You can't say it on Shenanigans. Where can you say it?
Yeah, I know it.
They're fuller down there, and so it's
And juicier.
yeah.
They're no, but think about that.
I agree. I agree with that for sure.
How would you agree with that? Tell us
They're
more.
fuller. They're he called it, and do not repeat this, please.
I won't tell anybody.
Here on social media.
Not a soul on YouTube will ever know, I promise.
His words is it was meteor. Meteor.
Okay, wait. Go back. I have all the questions. Like we say in the chat has lit the hell up. It's flowing too fast and I can't keep up with
I
it.
have to say something real quick because you said meteor, and then
That's where I'm going. Go ahead, because you're going where
It's
I'm
not.
going.
Well-
It's not an
You're going
appealing
where-
word to say when you're talking about a vagina, but
I know.
It might be. I don't know, because roast beef is a thing. Roast beef curtains. That's just where, Katie, is this where we're going?
All I was gonna say is when I went to my last operation on my ankle, and the lady was like, "Oh, yeah, this is one thing I've never heard. Oh, you have juicy veins." I
I've
was
heard
like,
that.
"Oh, juicy veins," and then that made me think of Kathy's comment about being meaty. So I'm just those juicy and meaty.
mhm.
It's
So
a
is
good
that a bad
combo.
thing, though? I mean,
It's a preference. It's a preference. I mean, some men
Right.
like it
Yeah.
tight, some men like it loose, some men like it little, some men like it big.
Okay,
I mean,
so what's
you
what's
know, it's
but
just
what's
a
great about
preference.
Eric is he tried something new and figured something out about himself. Because most guys have been told, don't sleep with the big chicks because they're big. That's
Mhm.
all you know. They just have an excess layer to them. They're not told anything else. So they're like,
Right.
oh,
He
or
just
the
wanted the experience of being with a bigger person, and he
good
enjoyed
for
it.
him.
Yeah.
Did he mention how big she was by chance?
Big.
Big. Okay, so that's really okay. So very fucking cool on his
Yeah.
part.
And
Really, because
again,
how many guys would do that?
do not repeat this in my house when you're here Saturday.
Okay.
We know, Kathy. I'll be the
I will be
guard on that.
stern.
That's don't anybody. No, what's funny is people are gonna be like, let's find out who her husband is and see if we can send this video to her.
I will take a bitch down if I have to, because I protect my
Our
people.
next shenanigans will be done with Katie behind bars, just so we're all clear.
Hey, I'm good with it. That's fine. Someone's gonna bail me out. Whatever.
Oh, I'm bailing you out. I'm gonna grab Bo and we're bailing your ass out. So that's okay. So that would be the thing, right? Let's well, okay, so let's flip the script though, because we keep talking about women. Of us on the panel and in the chat, how many of you have been with a larger guy? Not large like penis large, like body large, before we all go down the wrong rabbit hole here. What's
Well,
the
again, I
large?
think it depends on everyone's perspective. Like you could spend an
Yeah.
hour
So,
on
well,
this
then put
topic
that
by
perspective.
itself.
Well, put it out there. Put your perspective out there. If he was 200 pounds and 5'5", like give us an idea of what large is to you, or heavy set, or
My
Well, I
first
hear it.
husband
I mean,
was
here's
larger.
another thing too, real quick, is that I saw some pics come across. This was months ago, and it was just like this woman that's 5'6", this woman that's 5'9", and this woman that, and ultimately they all weighed the same
yeah,
and they all had great body types. I mean, the weight can be distributed in
yeah.
other, so it's really
Exactly. Read my name.
Yeah, let's talk about your
Katie has
fucking
proven my
physique.
point. Thank you.
Well,
My
like
first
Carrie,
hus-
you look good though. I've seen you in person. You look good. I don't care what you
Ooh.
think, but I see you and I think you look really
Well,
good.
thank you. I've been like up and down all over the weight scale as well. I mean, and then after a hysterectomy, it just kind of stayed no matter what. Didn't really
Full or
matter.
partial? You have a full or partial
Full,
hysterectomy?
but I was only like I
Oh,
was 30 years old and I had a full hysterectomy. And
that's tough.
and now it's like I know I could go to the gym. I know I could get some of it off. If I couldn't get the weight off, I could tone up. But I don't know. That's a lot of work, and I'm just not that into it these days. So,
Well, you have too much
so
to do on
that's my
YouTube.
fault.
Motivation is hard for people. That is for
It
me
is.
sometimes. Yeah. Eric goes to the gym almost every day, but I don't have the motivation to go. I'm too freaking tired.
Isn't
with
that
my work
crazy,
right
Kathy?
now.
So I've
Mhm.
had a gym membership with my husband for as long as I can remember. I can tell you 2 times I've used it in years. Both times were to use the tanning bed and, the nice little water massage table.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Oh, you
That's
must be a Planet Fitness girly.
that's it. That's all I
Yeah,
used. Now we
same.
have one
I
for the
love
one here
it.
in town. My husband goes to gym every single morning. It doesn't matter, 7 days a week. He's at the gym every morning before work. I cannot even understand it. I'm like, I am still trying to wake
You
up after
know,
4 hours.
my
What are you
husband will
doing?
my husband goes to the gym, and it's not to lose weight or tone up. He's doing it because he has to stay healthy.
Yeah.
So he knows that he's 51. He knows that he's at an age where it's hard for him to change his body type. But he can do what he can to stay healthy as he can by working out as much as he can.
Yeah.
That's how he is.
So and that's what I'm supposed to be doing, is going to the gym, but I'm supposed to be doing cardio per my cardiologist, because of the issue that I have. I have a vascular issue. And so going and doing cardio is ideal for me, but not for weight purposes, not anything other than to extend my quality of life, because what I have can take me out within the next few years if I don't manage it. And so I don't think people understand there are some serious issues out there that sometimes
Yeah.
it's healthier to be bigger. And sometimes you're bigger because you're lazy. But are you willing to own that? Like Carrie
could
owns it, and that's a
Yeah.
good
I own it.
thing.
You could be
I
big.
own it.
You could be bigger and still be healthy.
Correct.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
so
Yes.
it's perfect. Yes, Star Jones. Do you guys remember Star Jones from The View? It's the only thing I know her from. This
Yep.
beautiful black woman on The View always looked phenomenal. Great makeup, great hair, but she was very, very smart. She's a very heavy set gal. And I thought she was beautiful the way she was set. And then I think she had, what is that procedure called where
Gastric bypass.
thank you. I believe she had that surgery done or something like it. She lost all this weight.
And she looked
And
completely different.
she looks,
I
I
know.
mean, it looks like her, oh, I'm moving a microphone. She looks like her skin is melting. The last time I saw her, it's been a while, but her skin was melting off her bones. Like it was just dripping off her. And it doesn't, the skin doesn't bounce back when you lose weight in a
Not when you
significant
get
amount.
older. Mm-mm.
And so it's like, man, you are beautiful, bigger. And I have seen several girls that were just very, very pretty, bigger. But then I've seen girls that are pretty no matter what their size is. Like they just have great features. They take care of themselves. They have glowing skin. It's when the skin starts looking pretty raggedy that they start looking less. And I think that's what we look so much at the body versus the face and the spirit and the energy and go that route.
If I can add to that, Tara, too, I think, especially as women, obviously I don't know about men, but as women, when we're heavier, a lot of times we don't feel as good about ourselves. And I see many tend to dress the way they feel.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying this to say it mean. In other words, I've been there many, many times too. So I'll feel fat, frumpy, whatever you want to call it, just blah. And in that headspace, and we tend to dress and our appearance shows that exactly how we're feeling. Yeah, like our self-esteem is low. The women that I see that are, and I'm talking even very large women, still can look absolutely beautiful when they put on, their best clothes in their closet and they do their hair and their makeup and they just look like they care about themselves. It automatically projects more self-esteem, and then they automatically just look better to the rest of us too.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is when I talk to men, and I've talked to several of them over several years, and it's been in class, it's been at work, it's been everywhere. When I ask them what makes women attractive, because this always comes up in some sort of philosophical conversation, what makes women attractive? The answer is the same every single time. And it's confidence. When she's confident about the way she looks, the way she is, when she's just confident, that makes, because it's like, oh, you're big and you like it. There must be something to you that I need to know. Like it makes you curious about, well, what do you know that I don't know? Type of thing. Like tall is easy. People tell me all the time, I wish I was tall. Yeah, it's fucking great. Yeah. Get to my level. Retail therapy, not a thing for me. It is a flipping chore. Katie, where do we buy jeans at? Fucking nowhere. Well, you probably wear.
I don't wear jeans anymore, Tara.
You just wearing those overalls that we're giving you?
I wear sweats and tights.
I have learned to love leggings with a passion. I've learned to love high top boots and, to cover up the short length, because tall jeans are hard to find. It's not fun to do. It's not fun to shop for us at this height. Oh, but you're a model. You look like a model. Yeah. A model in the middle of the
People
flipping
perceive
country.
like tall people, like, because I've heard the same comment in my, and I'm just like, I think people perceive just the height of women as model. Like the taller you are, you're either a freaking awesome basketball player or you're a model.
You know what? It's funny, Katie, is when people, and you'll appreciate this, when they're like, oh, did you play basketball or volleyball? I'm like, no, nobody taught me how to play. And they're like, what? Well, when the first time I got in a court, they're like, here's a ball. I'm like, what do you do with it? They're like, dribble. I'm like, what does that mean? They're like, oh my God, why don't you know how to dribble? Because just because I'm tall doesn't mean I'm an athlete, doesn't mean I know how to play. It's like, well, what have you been doing? I'm a cheerleader. You're a what? I'm a 6'1" cheerleader. Absolutely. Yeah. Bite me. Let's do this. And they're like, but why? Because when I walked onto that squad, they're like, oh my God, jack nothing. We will teach you everything. So I was very, very good at it because they taught me. Nobody taught me how to play ball. I was on teams, and I will tell you this, and I'll admit it because I'm sure there's video out there somewhere, just because that would be my damn luck. I have shot the ball into the wrong basket twice, not once. No, because that wasn't enough for Tara. I had to do it twice to prove a point, because to me or somebody I don't know, because I was not taught to play ball. I didn't understand the whole system of it. There was no way I was playing volleyball because I was not getting in those booty shorts because I had no confidence in my body in skimpy clothing when I was young. That's it. There was no way. But that's the thing, is there was just so many assumptions because society teaches people if you're tall and you're
Yep.
pretty, you must be a model. No, I am not. I have an attitude problem and a lot more confidence than you do. Go away.
Yep. It works both ways. And like Bianca just said, every pair of jeans she has to have taken up. I'm the same way. I can't wear capri length. Are you kidding? Capri length come
There's-
past my ankle or past my heels.
Hey, Carrie,
I
I can
never
help you out with
could.
that. Carrie, I'm going to say this, and you're going to hate me. I will help you out Saturday. I will bring my kids, my toddlers' old clothes for you, and those.
But they got to fit around my booty.
I had big booty kids, Carrie. It'll work out great. It's a good thing you're not using the shirts because you got too much top for the shirts.
But
have.
it is true. Like, the whole fashion fad and stuff that went around. I never could get involved in that. I would have looked like, oh my gosh. Well, you can just vision what I would look like, and it'd be a funny vision. And then the other
You could just wear
thing-
shorts and then they'd be capris, right?
I
Correct.
mean, just about
Correct.
basketball shorts, definitely.
So when you see Carrie on Saturday, it will be like crystal clear as to what these like. There would be no doubt. She's adorable, and you're not allowed to wear heels. You are wearing sneakers on Saturday, right? Because I am not picking your ass up off the floor.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Definitely not heels. And then the other thing I was gonna say about the sports thing and like automatically just prejudging, I had the same thing. I was good at basketball. Believe it or not, I really was.
No,
And
yeah.
they called me Scrappy. I don't know why. I have no clue.
I have
But
an
they called me
idea. I
Because
have-
you're
And,
aggressive.
I have an idea why too.
Yeah,
I
can-
was
And I haven't even met you in person yet.
I was excellent at cheerleading. I was excellent softball player, but I was also a pretty good basketball player. They never ever let me play. They would never let me play.
I'll
They
tell
wouldn't
you
even give me a chance.
because everybody else on the team would put their hand up, and you can't shoot the ball or move it.
I mean,
Well,
true,
they
and I
didn't
could run
have
underneath
anybody
their
available
legs.
to hold her up so she could reach the.
Well, I just run underneath their legs and stuff, but
She's-
they never gave me a chance. And like, I'm still butthurt over it. Can you tell? I really am. And
I'll let
So
you play
butthurt.
basketball with me, Carrie.
I could have been in the women's NBA or whatever that is.
Oh,
Hey,
Yeah.
Kathy, do you have a basketball goal at your house?
We
Oh my gosh, are we
do.
gonna
Oh,
play
shit.
basketball?
Shit,
No,
yeah,
it's gonna be
I'm a
too cold
basketball player
outside.
too.
I'm on
We are
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get it
No.
on.
Just
I'm
don't
gonna
park-
stay
just
inside
don't
and
park in
drink.
the
I'm
Guys,
going
driveway.
to cheer from the
Like-
sideline. I'm cheering from the sideline while you two aggressors take it out on
You're
one another.
gonna-
That's
you're
what
I'm
doing.
cheering from the window.
You can team up against Asher and his buddy Jackson that'll be here. They'll want to play some ball.
Oh, I'll bring Mason.
Oh,
then.
I'll show them. Yeah, that's fine. They can play with
Like, I'll
us.
throw
That'd
a
be cool.
ball.
My God.
Kathy
then-
knows how competitive I can be.
I know how competitive you can be, and I was just in a lake with you. So that's all I know. And I said that was enough. It's not enough. I still want to do it again, but without the sharp rocks. Anyway, moving on.
Patrick,
So
that's
many-
funny. Remember the Harlem Globetrotters? They were so cool.
They're
How did we
all
go
short.
from
What do you mean they were? They still are. They still show.
Yeah, they
still
come to
do shows.
Wichita. They still come to Wichita.
we
the Grannies.
really
We're
this
off
whole
topic.
conversation went way back to the right now.
Well, that's what shenanigans is all about, because that's what happens in real
Yeah.
life. You start a conversation. If you can do it openly, that's the whole point. You get a conversation going that's taboo, controversial, inappropriate, rude, and you start
Oh,
talking
no.
about it openly, you'll just veer off naturally because it's okay. That's the whole damn point. It's supposed to be okay. Is she cutting out again? She turned her camera off. Is she cutting out?
Hey,
Watching
I hear the dog bark. Just, you know what? Lay off, Tara.
I can't hear the dog bark, Katie.
I
So
hear
back to the
Maxie
question.
poo. Maxie is like whining at the door because I have
Oh.
it shut, and he's the only one that cares about me in this house. So
God.
I had to pick him up.
Wait till we're
I
at
feel
Kathy's.
the
Everybody will
same
care.
way about Addie.
So, okay, go back though. Let's back up because nobody answered the question. And that's what I want to come back to the question. Have any one of us been with a larger guy that we thought
My
was
answer is
larger?
no.
How large is large?
Yours
They're all
was.
larger
my,
than me.
My first husband was about 250. But
At one point he was.
5'11", my first
Oh.
husband was. And
Wait,
he had a
Is that the
he had
one
a
I
hard
know?
time. No.
No, that's okay.
He had a hard time losing weight, but he also drank a lot of beer. So,
there we go.
and then he joined the Marines and lost it all. But while we were dating, he was a little larger, and I didn't mind because we were best friends before we even started dating. So I saw through all that.
So was he like dad bod large or more than dad bod? Because there's like gym, there's like there's different realms of large, right? There's the gym
There's
body.
so many
there's the
levels
dad
of a
bod.
body type, but
he wasn't a dad bod. He was. That
Did
was
the
when
okay? Did
he was
the did his belly hang over his belt?
a little bit, yeah,
Okay, that's he had the Dunlap. That's fine.
yeah.
Not a
it
problem.
did.
It's easier to
is his belt too tight? Because that could happen too. I don't know.
No,
So,
he
and
just,
I-
he just had a belly, and I didn't care. I loved
that's
him.
awesome.
You know, I loved him.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so I technically, I guess you could say I've been with a little larger
If
guy.
you think it's larger, that's fine. That's the whole. It's subjective. To your point, it's very subjective.
Yeah.
Katie, Carrie, and Amber, what say you?
Well, I said
mean,
no originally, but
I've been
hindsight.
with guys that are
Hindsight,
that are
ooh,
maybe
hindsight.
chubby.
I mean,
Yeah,
if that's
that's
your
a good way to put it. Chubby. He was
okay,
chubby.
and
That's
that's
a good way
fine.
to-
So that and that maybe so there's standards we put ourselves up against, right? Like, you guys will be seeing Bo this weekend. I have confirmed it, and the first time
He's
Amber saw
coming?
him, yeah, he is.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna give him a big hug.
he needs
I'm
one.
hugging everyone.
Except for Tara, I get a turd and a hamburger.
That's right. Here's your
And a,
turn.
and a
Here's your
booty
hamburger.
grab. And a booty grab.
And a booty.
Oh
grab.
yeah. Well, you can grab my ass after
for the bottom.
turd hamburger. You grab my ass. Yeah. Yep. That's
So, and that so there's yeah. So a gym, it's oh my God, where was I going with this? So Bo's going to come with us this weekend, and Amber has seen the guys I've dated in the past, and she's never seen me date a heavyset guy ever. I don't think there's one heavyset guy in my background.
I don't think
Not
so.
a damn one, because I had been trained with a certain mentality that bigger was bad. Now I've got a great friend, and if he and I were ever single at the same time, and he has a Dunlap, his belly is bigger. He has struggled with weight loss. He's tried to take it off, and then he puts it back on. There's always something going on. And it's kind of like, dude, Chris, that's just how you are, man. Just go with it. Just own it. It's fine. Are you enjoying life? Are you having fun? Are you a pilot? Yes, by the way, he is. Like, it's not impacting your success. Just be happy. Don't be and he's struggling because he thinks nobody wants to date him because he's big. And it's like, honestly, if you
He's
would just
not find the
own,
right person. That's
yeah,
all.
exactly. But I've had to kind of adjust myself a little bit. And that's not because Bo is big by any means. Amber has met Bo, and I think Kathy, you've seen him once for a few seconds, but Amber knows him. He's not exactly the body size because he's pear-shaped a little bit, but he doesn't, like, his belly does not lap over his belt yet. But that's something that I have never done, is I've never been with or dated a bigger guy. I had one guy in high school, may he rest in peace. He's been gone for a few years. He was a big dude. And he's like, hey, you know, when I first got to the school, I would think I was a sophomore, and he's like, hey, you want to get together? You're cute, and I think you're great, and I'd like to. And I'm like, okay, I'm new, and a guy likes me, and I have low self-esteem. I'm like, sure, why not? And every time he tried to kiss me, I wouldn't. I'm like, I'm not kissing a fat dude. I'm not. But I was 15 at the time. Now I feel very differently about it today, but I had, like I said, I had this training, this conditioning. I don't think it would bother me as much today, as long as the logistics work out physically, right? Because I think that's I think there's an underlying question of, yeah, she's pretty, or yeah, he's good looking, but they're big. How does sex work?
Is that a question?
Silence.
I'm
Deafening
just
silence.
waiting for the panel or for the chat to blow up, because nobody says that in all the discussions I've had about size, weight, height. Nobody ever brings up, like, how. Oh, she disappeared. There she went. It's her time. It's got to be like around 8:15 or something like that. It's 8:30. How nobody brings that up. But is that an honest, sincere question in the back of people's brain? Like, damn, he's good looking, but like, do you guys remember Chris Farley before he passed?
Yeah.
Super funny. Seems super confident. Like, would you take that home and hit it, or would you sit there and be like, how are we gonna make this work if we try to make this work? Now,
So
I've
I
had somebody,
had
I've had somebody explain it to me, but go, Amber.
Well, I had a couple of friends who they got married. This is a long time ago. And they were both bigger people. And like that's actually one thing that we asked. Because our group of friends, we were very open with each other and
Yeah.
we were like, how does this work?
How does
And they
yes.
literally like there was a trick to it. It was like, well, we can only do this one position and I have to hold my stomach up and she has to sit this way and that's the only way we can do it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot even imagine being with somebody and there's zero variety. Like there's only one thing you can do because of the way your body types fit together. Like I felt bad for them.
So it's funny you mentioned that because what was explained to me was he was a larger size guy in the belly area. It did lap over, his belly did hang over his belt line quite a bit. And she was not a large girl. They've been married for some time. And so when it was brought up in conversation, he he painted a very similar picture. They usually go from behind because he can put his belly up on her backside.
That's yeah. Yeah, that's
That's
kind
how
of
it
what
worked. And I was just like, but that's what people want to know. How does that work? Unless you have the experience. And it makes you stop and think like, wow, maybe relationships really aren't about the sex, but it is about the personality.
as
I
it should
would
be.
Yeah, I can agree with that. To some degree, I can.
Well, at some point,
It's important. Sex is important. It's important to have the intimacy, but it's not. To me, it's not the primary thing that's holding you together. It's everything involved. So sex is just part of it.
so Maxine made an excellent point. It's the same as being pregnant. Sex was not, it was logistical at the peak of pregnancy, was it not? It was very much,
Oh,
we can't go from this, but we have to go from here and this angle, but not too much from this angle. But it was logistical and it was a constantly changing logistical formula. Constantly. And it was different. Like I know you've only had one and that was enough in that term. But when you have multiples, it changes with each one because they don't all sit the same damn way. It's all different. So that's a really great point. I'm glad Maxine said that because that is extremely good point. It's got to be back to the personality, right? Because at some point in time, the sex dies. At some
Of
point in
course.
time, I've got to.
Eventually your looks disappear.
Your looks
Eventually a hot
disappear.
body disappears. I mean,
Their looks disappear, but at some point, I think people in those situations, if they have somebody in their life, they're probably afraid to lose it. And so they'll just do whatever they can to hang on to it. And that's that.
I've seen that before. I don't see it very often, Kathy, but I have seen it, and that's really sad.
Mhm.
That, in fact, I'll bring up a really good example. Do you guys? I'm a big Golden Girls fan. If you know me, know this about me. And there was an episode on the Golden Girls where Blanche's daughter comes in. She comes in. She's super heavy, and she's with a really jerk of a guy. And Blanche confronts her. It's like, "Why are you with him?" She's like, and her daughter says, "Because this may be my last chance at happiness. This may be my last chance to have somebody." And eventually she does dump the idiot and says, I can find somebody. There's somebody out there for me. I don't have to put up with this. But it is very sad to think and wonder how many people do put up with somebody just because they think their weight is going to prevent them from happiness with somebody else.
Right.
And that's society's, again, that kind of goes back to society and marketing. Are you going to buy ice cream from a commercial you see with a very large person eating it? Have you seen a commercial with a large person eating ice cream versus a thin person? I have seen both, and there's a very different feel to both of those.
Yeah.
It's
Sex
sad.
sells, and
Unfortunately, and we let it sell.
it's yeah. And what's sexy is determined by the fashion industry, which is not big.
which is hilarious. So I use a one of those services that sends you clothes. You try them on. If you like them, you can buy them. If you don't like them, you send them back. You get the next set, right?
Yeah.
And so I do that, and they're trying desperately to sell me on the trends and the fashions of today. I'm like, no, I do not care. I am 6'1". Those do not apply. Not every trend looks good on every person. I know it looks good on me.
Mhm.
Send me what I want or stop sending me things. And they're like, but
Yep.
we're trying to make you more fashion and trendy. I do not care. Stop it. So I'm going to have to cancel that one because I think I've ran my gambit on that. But so Carrie, I heard you just before you got cut off. You said hindsight, you thought you had been with somebody that was larger.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, in hindsight, I actually, because originally I said no, I hadn't been, but yeah, I have been.
Was it
But it would
like
be like larger compared to my husband,
I've seen
probably.
your husband, he's freaking see-through.
So not like
He's built like me.
large. Yeah, he's tall and thin. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, like to society standards, yeah, maybe a little heavier than, you know, what is considered the ideal or whatever. Yeah, definitely. For me, personality is strong. It's like, I mean, you've got to have personality. You got to be funny. You got to be able to make me laugh. And
That's why she keeps
yeah,
me around.
yeah. I like to laugh. I like smart ass stuff. I like dumb jokes. I'm not offended easily by much of anything, really. And a
Correct,
lot of
Midget.
what comes out of my own mouth is about the same way. So I like people that are, that way. And I like you get to know somebody, even if their looks are not something you normally might go for. Over time, getting to know them and the personality and stuff, I think you can truly, fall in love or whatever, even if they weren't like, something you just like got all googly eye over at first. You learn to love the person that they are, I guess is what I mean.
Mhm.
And then you find them beautiful or gorgeous or whatever it is, because it's all in
Correct.
the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I've dated some good-looking guys, but their personality, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, that was a mistake. That was a huge, bad mistake. And everybody's like, but he's gorgeous. I'm like, so there was one guy in particular. He's a very short-lived in Amber's before you and I started hanging out. Otherwise, you'd have been like, stop that right now. Because he was a good-looking guy, great body, worked out a lot, was well endowed. He had all the package. Dumb as a box of rocks, though. Like this man had no.
Mm.
The best
Skirt.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
can't do it.
The best thing he had going for him is the night I met him, and it took me a while to process the stupid. I fired back, and if you guys know, obviously I'm very fiery, I'm very quick-witted, and I fire back with the smart ass and the snarky, and that's my charm. And I fired back at him with something, and he's like, "Oh, saucy." I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay, you're cute. I think you're cute. I've never heard that before." And he explained it to me. I'm like, okay, cool. And then, we tried to have this relationship, and I was just like, I cannot entertain you and stimulate myself at the same time. Something you got to go. I know you've got the rock hard body. You've got all these boxes checked, but I think these are the boxes that are supposed to be on the other side of the list. I'm pretty sure we're in the wrong area. He's any guy. There's been two guys that were like had rock hard solid gym type bodies, and both of them were crappy lovers anyway. Absolutely terrible lovers. The guys that have been more dad bod, fabulous, much better,
Agree. Yeah,
far better.
that's typically how it works. I don't know why, but
Well, I think the guys with the dad bods are more realistic, and quite honestly, they see a beautiful blonde in front of them laying down, and they're like, "I'm going to please that as long as I possibly can, because I may not get another chance to, just in case." And the gym guys
Yeah.
are like, the gym bods are like, I can get any girl I want. I'm going to show her what I'm made of. Like, it's not about her, it's about him. That was my experience with the gym rats. that I was with, which is why when that ass hat and the Miami Vice linen suit rolled up to his elbows walked up to us with the freaking ugly ass permed hair, and you looked at me and you're like, don't you be nice. I'm like, he is giving me every.
I don't even remember that.
Oh God, I had never been so disappointed in you in my life. Oh, and bleh, so gross.
Hey, I probably just wanted some dick that night. I didn't care where it was coming from.
That had to that man suffered from I don't know how to use it syndrome.
Probably.
There's you would not
But
have been
not many of them did. So, you know.
except the dad bods.
I think that there also could be like a whole opposite side of this too. Like if you're talking on looks and weight and stuff like that, is that extremely beautiful women also have a hard time. I know it's hard to realize that, but they do. It's harder. Men don't want to approach them as easy as they do just the normal looking, females.
Yeah.
They are, oh, what's the word, Tara?
There's
They're
a lot of
usually a
them.
little bit more assertive women. They've got high confidence levels,
Yeah.
and a lot of men find that terrifying.
You know what?
Absolutely
Okay.
terrifying.
Yes, they do because I am assertive, I am confident, and I do attract men. So what's funny about that, the shortest guys will approach me without any problem at all. Like they're like a chihuahua up against a Great Dane. And they're like, I will hump your ankle if you will just like they are just ready to go but they're super appreciative that I'll talk with them and they feel great and they feel special. And it's like, and like I said, I did have a short relationship thingy situationship. I don't know what you call those things. It wasn't lasting. We're still friends. He's 5'2". If you ask him, he's 5'2.5". And in his mind, he's like, hell yeah, I have this model looking person that everybody else thinks is a model. Of course, I'm going to go after you. Of course, short men are going to go after the tall, pretty females. It appeals to the guys without the short man syndrome. It appeals to them. They're like, yes, see what I can do? You guys can't get this. I can't. So it's almost that ego trip that they go after. But I spent a lot of my time with this during my low self-esteem years, not understanding why I couldn't get anybody to ask me out, but I didn't have any confidence.
Right.
And
I
that
think
came shining
that's
through
a big
clearly.
thing.
It did. And now that I have confidence, my inbox always has something like, hey, are you still dating somebody? Yes, I'm still fucking dating somebody. Go away. Like read Facebook. It says I'm in a relationship. Go away. But I don't think that applies to just me. I think it applies to anybody that a guy's like, that chick is attractive. She's confident. She knows what she wants. I'm going to see if I'm what she wants. And they start, and then we get into a whole other realm of shenanigans that we'll talk about sexual harassment and all that great fun stuff. And I say that loosely before the chat attacks me. Great fun stuff, loosely, not for reals, loosely. Do not send me hate mail. Just send me something I can use. So that's, but I do think you're onto something. There's pretty women do have super attractive girls who are smart. They're funny. They're assertive.
Yeah.
I do think they struggle a little bit with finding the right person who knows
Somebody that's
how.
with them for who they really are, not because
Correct.
they're the eye candy.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. But I think anybody on this panel would have an issue with that. Nobody else from the chat will come up, so I'm presuming it's true about all of you in the chat, but I presume that's got to have been an issue for everybody here on the panel at some point because we're all attractive women. And there's something that I'm sure every guy has been attracted to about each of you, besides Carrie and Amber's boobs. That's completely off subject, but just the general personality, just the general look of us. That had to have happened at some point to all of us.
Yeah.
Only Carrie's like, yeah, of course. The other
I
two are
mean,
like,
yeah.
hell hum. Yeah, sure. Whatever she said. We're not going to
I
talk
mean, it
about this.
has like I can I can remember feeling bad for some dudes. Truly, like
Yeah.
I'm just not that into you. You're not
Correct.
really at my level. But I don't want to say that out loud, Tara.
Okay, so, but shouldn't, and then we are going to do a chat on that one because I think it is so important. There's a difference between egotistical and being confident to say, I can wake up looking like a troll doll. I am eyebrows. These things are painted on every fucking
Right.
morning. I'd love to have them tattooed. That would save me about 15 minutes of my life every morning. But I'm not an unattractive female. I believed for a good number of years. And Amber, I think it's safe to say until I was probably in my 30s. Because even in my late 20s, when you and I hung out to my early 30s, I was not convinced I was attractive because I had been told for so long by my own mother that I was not. And then
Oh,
I had
that's
people at
horrible.
school making fun of me for my looks.
But
So
a
that's
lot
probably
of
why I
your
didn't focus on my weight.
strength, I think a lot of your strength has come from all that you endured.
Oh, yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I've said before, you were able to use it in a positive way where it's not as easy for everybody to do that.
Yes. I do
And I
use my
mean, we
powers
could
for
get
good.
into is it easy or not, or you got to
No,
put enough work into it or not. But a
it's not
lot of it
easy.
is mental and emotional. And it's just really hard for people, I think, to get to that point.
It
And
is.
sadly, some just never do. But um, man, I think like if you're happy with the way you are, then you go with it.
Yes,
Make the
do
absolute
it.
go with it. If you
Yes.
think like me that I could lose a few pounds and I should probably go to the gym, but I don't want to, you don't got to go to the gym either. You know
Correct.
what I mean? Like just get to the point where you're happy with yourself. The best, I mean, obviously if you have a medical condition and things like that, then you don't have that kind of ability to make those kind of changes. But if you do have the ability to make the change, then you're the one that has to decide, do you want the change or not? Is it that important or not? And just be
And
happy with yourself.
every body is a bikini body. All you got to do is put a bikini on it,
Okay,
right?
I'm not going that far.
That was hilarious. I am not going that far. Do not put me in a bikini.
Wish I could, but I'm not going to.
But you can,
You know what?
and then
I
you've got a
even
bikini body.
like
So,
I mean, I'm not even 5'1", and there was a point in life that I weighed 107 pounds. And even then I didn't wear a bikini because I've always had a, you know, like body image kind of things. And then um when I got older and then after I had the breast implants, then it was all of a sudden I didn't want nobody looking at me.
oh
Listen, I
no.
can't make up my mind what the hell I want apparently, but hopefully that makes some sense.
It does, but you
Oh,
know what? We're all our worst critic. I mean,
yeah, we are.
especially women. Like I mean, I know
Mhm.
men can be that way too, but for women, oh my gosh, I I get women in my studio all the time that are just like really shy about taking their clothes off, or
Mhm.
even if they're not
Well, what
shy
do you
about
do,
taking their clothes
Amber?
off,
Remind everybody
they're
what you do. Remind
yeah, I
everybody
do
what
spray tanning. I don't,
yeah.
it's yeah, I don't do
Yeah, might
I
need to
coloring.
just
clarify.
Um, yeah.
you're welcome because the
um,
1-900 shenanigans number just went fucking nuts. God.
um, but
Women are
I
afraid
mean,
to get
I
naked
get
in my studio. Men are like, well, how could that possibly be? We'd get naked. God.
yeah, I don't know. I got some secrets over here. But no, I swear, even every single woman will be like, "Oh, so sorry about, this or that, so sorry about the cellulite. So sorry,
Oh
I've I've got
no.
a few pounds I really need to lose and I just haven't done." And I'm like, "Do you have any idea how good you look? Like
No.
you have nothing to be apologizing for. These women all look amazing, but they step in there. The first thing they think is, oh my gosh, this poor girl's going to judge me because
Right.
they're judging
I believe
themselves.
it.
And no, I, there's only been a couple of times where I've seen someone where I'm like, okay, yes, they are very overweight. We're going to have to try to work through this. But for the most part, everybody looks amazing and they have no idea that they look amazing.
That's so
And
sweet of you.
it's sad though. Like
It
I'm
is
just
sad.
like, God, I wish everybody could just see themselves through my eyes.
Mhm. Yeah.
So when it's so you see a lot of, and I think that's the kicker too, right? You see a lot of different people because of your spray tan business. You see them at their most vulnerable point and they're
Mhm.
apologizing to you. So do you think that they take a look at you and compare themselves and think, shit, she's gorgeous, she's got the perfect body, and here I am in all my cellulite glory, and she's judging me, and I'm paying her to do it?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, because I certainly don't have a perfect body, but I mean,
They don't know that though.
I get
They don't.
that.
You don't know that 'cause you can't get naked in front of them. Obviously, that would be weird.
That's true. I mean, I'm not stripping for them. But I mean, I got the same comments from girls, no matter if I was the way I was now or when I was, 25 pounds heavier. Um, so I mean, I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with me. I think it has more to do with the fact that so many women have low self-esteem or they think badly about their bodies. They judge themselves in some way because it's what we are constantly inundated with in our society. It's I mean the women in the magazines, they're not real. Um
Correct. Well, especially with
they're
AI,
they're
especially with
airbrushed and
AI.
they're and
Well, look at Martha
but that's
Stewart.
what you
She's a
see.
great example. Martha Stewart in that what magazine was she on the cover of in her swimsuit? She was done so strategically. She was positioned a certain way. She was wearing a
Yeah, I
specific
remember that. Like,
swimsuit.
she looked freaking amazing.
But she's like 80 years old, and
Yeah.
people were pissed because she was so airbrushed and she was so photoshopped
Mhm.
that people were upset. They're like, and it was the whole bodies are beautiful and just let her be how she looks and blah blah. But for every person that says she looks wonderful because she's natural, there's a person who says, "Oh my God, that's an 80-year-old body. It's not sexy. Take it down."
Right.
So it goes right into that just let it be natural, because if you took a look at half these women, and there's been a couple of models out there who said, if I was not airbrushed, if I was not photoshopped, I wouldn't look that great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
models who are built very slim and trim and look of perfection, and they are it is hard to achieve those bodies in a perfect manner through lifestyle. It is so incredibly hard, and I don't think people recognize
No,
that.
the struggle to do so is not even worth it.
No. No, it's not. Enjoy the
No.
freaking hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
Have the damn cookie. Enjoy the
Yes.
latte.
Mhm. Life is far too short to
Hey,
not
I
have
was,
a
I was
cookie.
out of regular milk today and I had to use half and half, and I looked at the back of it and I'm thinking, holy shit, this is going to give me 10 grams of fat in a cup of coffee because I don't have any freaking milk. That's what
Hey, that's good
that's what I
fats.
do every
That's
day.
good fats. That's good fats. You can drink that.
That's good. Well, and see, I
Yeah.
can't have milk and have if it's a milk product, it has to be it has to be specialized because of the way my system works. But I would love to be able to just put half and half in my chai tea so I can have a chai latte, because I love chai lattes. But I have to settle for freaking almond milk because of the way that I respond to some of the cow milk and all the cream and all that. It pisses me off because I would love to enjoy that stuff without having a stomach ache and getting bloated and feeling sick. That's an allergic reaction that I have to that stuff, and it makes me so mad because I love the taste of it, but my body's like, "Oh, you wanted to play, and that cute. Okay, we can play." And then I suffer, and it sucks. And then I look pregnant for 3 days. It's awesome, phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Did you look at CB's comment?
Where is CB's comment? I'm struggling. My poor
Yes.
eyes.
I
The
got one
one.
of the women out of the magazine and she farted and flew out the window.
God.
See, that's
Our
the kind of
resident
humor I
memoir
like. I
striking. I know. I
know.
love it. I had a lady tell my late husband to feed me. My God. I see. I
Oh.
like my body. Yeah, Carrie, go ahead. I just saw
Oh
your
no,
message.
I was just gonna say something stupid.
Oh.
You go ahead.
But I like the way I look. I know for some, sometimes I'm too thin and bony looking, and other times it's questionable as to, like, there was not an alien force that has some sort of influence as to my body. I'm fine with either. But I like the way I look. I like the way I'm structured. For a while, I wanted to have like a boob job done because you can't tell if I'm walking forwards or backwards. And I remember Amber was like, this is what talked. There was a couple things that talked me out of it, right? And when I was talking to Amber, she just I don't know if you've gotten yours done yet or not. But I'm like, oh, I want to get my done. And she's like, and I kid you not, folks. She looked right at me. She's like, no, if you get a boob job, we're not hanging out anymore. And I was like, well, what the? How the hell do you figure? She's like,
I gotta have something, man.
she's like, you can't be tall and pretty and smart and funny and have boobs. Like you can have almost all that, but I get the boobs. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I mean, it's not a big deal to me. I'll
You
walk
didn't have to
forwards and
take me
backwards.
seriously. If you want boobies,
Well,
get you some boobies, baby.
No, because
Fine.
after that, I had I met a guy and got to know him really well who used to working in cosmetic surgery, and he's like, "Don't do it. You will be so upset." Because there's this whole at that point in time, there was you got to massage the boobs to make sure the connective tissue doesn't stick, and then you have to redo them every 10 or 15 years and blah. And I'm like,
I have yet to have to redo
oh,
mine,
that's too
so.
much freaking work for me. I'm not doing that. Not
Yeah.
doing that. I don't. Right there, I'm like, that's too. I should just. It's a set it and forget it. To me, it's a set and forget. So I didn't do that. And I'm very happy with what I have. They make bras for that kind of illusion crap, and I've been with the guy for 8 years. He know what he bought into. If he didn't, and he's a leg man anyway. Thank God. He is. Which is good because he's taller than I am, so he needs to like legs. Otherwise, this would be weird.
Tara, stop texting my husband.
What the hell does that mean? Anyway, what is he talking about?
I have no idea. He just got off of a plane. He had 5 gin and tonics.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, because
took off
listeners is
late.
listeners. Did you see listeners as listeners? I'm gonna.
I
So
haven't
her-
even opened his text messages.
I'm going to
so I'm
read
just
it
like,
because
oh
now
my
that he's
gosh.
done this, I'm going to read it. So hold on. I think that's Patrick that just showed up. Let me do this thing because for some reason this is stupid. So her husband texted me a few moments ago and says, "POD that ass."
podcast. Pod.
Oh my
Pod that
gosh!
ass.
Pod that ass.
Pod that ass.
Pod it real good. I'm like, what the hell? And he says, now that you ask, good cue, as in good question. I suppose it's you badasses cutting up some good dialogue for your listeners. Because
Lusterners. Oh,
Listeners.
okay.
That's
I like
great.
it.
oh my god, that's awesome. That's what we're gonna call our people. Our people are now
Our
listeners.
Perfect.
That's great.
Oh my
Hi,
god.
Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
Terry, you asked a question of way back, and I put it in chat, but I don't think anybody saw it.
Oh, I can't keep up the chat between my old eyes and the
But
the speed. Everything's
you-
going too fast.
You had asked why men seem to go for, how do I say this? Fluffy women. Yes, I like the comedian Fluffy. There's a reason for that, and part of the reason is that women who are not, I don't know what y'all call it, chunky, fluffy, whatever, men they tend to look down on guys, or they act like they're too good for the guy or something, they're how do you say it? They think because they look so good, and they can have any man, they treat you like it's a privilege that you're with them, and so, the heavier set women don't act like that. They're just happy to have somebody, and they treat you better.
That makes sense, but I would hate for them just to be happy they have somebody to have the wrong person too, though.
Well, I mean, I have an ex-girlfriend that we were together 15 times over 22 years, and she's white, okay, but other than her children's father, she's never been with a white guy besides him. She only goes for black guys. Now, she did date me, which I kind of drove from. Her ex had beat up her 2-year-old and tried to kill her, and my son and I had $15, jumped in our van, drove from Houston, Texas, all the way up to Michigan, load all her stuff in our van, and took her back down to Ohio. And we got a place down there in Ohio. But yeah, with a CB radio, you can make it across the country even on $15.
Correct.
Somebody,
Correct.
we had a car hauler pull over, and he was empty, and he just loaded us up on the car hauler, and we got very good gas mileage.
Nice.
But she, and she dumped me because we were so different. But she's a great girl. But and her mom hit on me, and that wasn't very cool.
Hmm.
Um,
I know what you're saying. It makes sense, though. Is I'm sure, and I wish if there were women with that experience, if they would speak up to that. 'Cause that's the thing that I want people to speak up about too. Is how much our own size influences our decisions. Because I think it's a lot doing something like that, making that decision, treating people a certain way to stay with them because of your size. That's a very powerful aspect of the personality.
and I tend to always find women that have been abused or their children are autistic and the dads don't want nothing to do with them. Or like the last girlfriend I had that said I had a chance at a relationship for 3 years, but we never got into a relationship because, yeah, I treated her and her kids better than anybody. She said better than anybody ever had,
Right.
but it was too ugly. And she didn't look at me and just want to rip her clothes off, which I told her that's a good thing because we never go anywhere or do anything without your daughter, and I don't want her to see that.
Right.
I'm the type of guy where if the woman has a child, if we go out, say I want to go out to a movie, we go into a kid's movie and we're taking our kid with us,
Sure.
because my son learned at an early age, I noticed that he felt left out when I'd go on dates.
Well,
He
yeah.
didn't go, so I always included him and her kids, and we'd go out to eat at Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
That was date night, Chuck E. Cheese.
Sure. Sure.
And her daughter was autistic, but her daughter's dad, was in prison for manufacturing, distribution, and possession of child pornography. And her daughter was his daughter, this little
Oh.
girl, was one of the victims and molestation. So she didn't like men, but shoot, I drive an hour just to go to Walmart for 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
buy them whatever they wanted, and then
That's very nice of you.
we'd go out to eat at Chuck E. Cheese or Pizza Ranch, and this was up in South Dakota. And then I'd drive home. She'd call me at 7 a.m. in the morning and say my car won't start. Of course, you guys are sitting there complaining about how cold it is outside. It was minus 47 below zero
Oof.
with 60 below zero wind chill.
Oh,
And
man.
I was an hour away. I called the tow truck companies, 4 tow truck companies, to have them go over and give her a jump start, which I told her probably wouldn't start because her battery was dead. And she said, okay, so if I go take a nap for 4 hours, I can go back out and it'll be charged, right? I'm like, huh? She said, don't car batteries charge themselves?
Oh, no.
And I said, no. And she goes, well, isn't that what the alternator does, is charge the car? And I'm like, well, yeah, but it has to be running.
Mm-hmm.
She thought
Well,
you
I
could
think. Go ahead.
let,
Finish up. Go ahead.
she thought she could just go take a nap for 4 hours and the battery be
No.
charged.
Nope. So I think
So
I'm gonna have to cut you off there because we're right at our hour and a half, and I try to keep us at 90 minutes so we can keep everybody's attention. But I'm glad you came up, and I think you made a really good point about some people just that feel a certain way about their size. I just appreciate being with somebody. I think you're probably spot on with that.
I mean, I get judged all the time because I walk with a
Yeah.
cane because I'm on disability or
Yeah. I think people are always going to judge no matter what, but our Kathy's left, so we must be coming to that point. But thank you, Patrick. I'm glad to see you tonight. I hope you're doing well, and we will see you, I'm sure, next week. And I'll talk to you guys about next week here in a second. But thank you, Patrick. I'm glad you came up again.
Well, yeah, we would. My son and I, well, he might be at work, but we would like to meet and say hi.
Sounds good. Well, I think Carrie and I will be down in the Guyman area next month for the trials, but we can talk about that tomorrow night. Okay.
Next month it starts. It
Or
starts.
this
Two
month.
weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
No,
Everything's still last month for me. Everything is still last month for me. Yes, 2 weeks.
no, it's next week.
Yes, next week.
The
That's correct.
17th.
Yes. Yeah. We
The
got
17th.
Yep.
2 weeks.
Alrighty. Thank you, Patrick, so much. We will see you soon.
Bye, Patrick.
All right, bye. Thank you.
See ya. Okay. I know we're right at 1:30. Did we hit everything tonight?
I think so.
I think
I
so.
think so.
Yeah.
Sweet. So it's a big conversation to have. And I think we brought up some points that people are afraid to talk about that always have lingering in the back of their minds. So as always, it's probably one of those subjects that'll come up again because something marinates for a while and you want to talk about it. So there are 2 ways to contact Shenanigans. There's the email at shenaniganstalks@gmail.com. And then the phone number 316-285-9595. And you're always encouraged to reach out those ways. And then there's the Facebook page. And I usually try to start a conversation prior to the show so you kind of have an idea of what we're talking about. I am going to talk about next week because next week it's going to be sensitive. It's going to be hard for some people, I'm sure, but we're going to talk about Alzheimer's and dementia and those kinds of diseases that impact our loved ones. I have a special guest coming up. I'm going to confirm her again. As soon as I do, I'm going to put her Instagram. I don't know if she has a Facebook or not because I only follow her on Instagram, but she has an Instagram page and she has one for her mother. And her mother's the one with Alzheimer's. She was diagnosed a few years ago. So she's using her mother's Instagram page to document her life as she literally declines. And so you can see what her mother goes through and how her mother's brain, how it functions differently and how she thinks differently, what she forgets and how she forgets. And so I had reached out to her a couple weeks ago, asking her if she would come up here on panel with us as a guest. And her name is Genevieve, and I believe she goes by Jen, and her mother is Phyllis. So Jen is going to come up on panel and talk about what it's been like for her. And I know Katie can relate to this. I can relate to this. I'm sure others can too. So we're going to have that tough conversation about what it's like and what Jen's gone through as far as documenting her mother's decline through her disease, because I'm sure she gets hate mail about how she's exploiting her mother and using her mother and mistreating her mother by putting her out there on social media. But at the same time, to see that kind of journey firsthand, to see that you just know you're not alone, right? So we will have Genevieve on next week with us, and I'm really excited. She's got a cool accent. She's from the Northeast. I'm just going to say that. It's an awesome accent. So be looking to that, and I'll put something on Facebook so we can get that conversation going. Sound good with everybody?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Carrie's work.
Sounds
There she
good
is.
to me. I had to unmute
Carrie's,
myself.
Carrie's working the chat.
Yeah, sounds good to me. That'll be interesting for sure.
I think it
I'm
will
anxious
be.
to listen.
I'm eager to get it going.
Yeah. And then we have a live tomorrow night.
We do. What are we talking about? I saw the it helped with the slides, but I'm gonna let you tease the show tomorrow.
Well, I think we're going to go back over a lot of the facts from the beginning that we seem to have forgotten. And that's
Right.
going to be the majority of it. And then anybody that wants to kind of have their input on it,
Mhm.
we'll allow that. And then well, there's a few other true crime current cases right now that I'm really interested in following in. So kind of decide tomorrow on that. And it'll, if we have enough time.
There's one I want to bring up tomorrow that I found today, and I need to send you a link on that, Katie. It's one of those awareness situations, so we can get in that tomorrow. So that would be Carrie Moody,
Yeah.
True Crime tomorrow. What time do we start?
7:30.
7:30. So we're
Mhm.
consistent with the 7:30 time slot at least. So come join us tomorrow for that. There's been a lot of new information that's come out, some of it's super sensitive. And so if you're aware of the sensitive information, we're not going to go through it line by line. There's a lot of people who have done that already. We're going to hit the highlight points because we're going to remain respectful to the family on that. So, but
Yeah.
a lot going on with the prelims coming up here in 2 weeks from today, actually, I think.
hmm
Yeah.
And unless something else comes out like between tomorrow and 2 weeks from today, tomorrow night will be the last night we're live with at least the Kansas women's case until the
Okay.
preliminaries. So make sure you join us. For
Yes,
sure.
please. Please. All right. Well,
All
it was
right.
a good
Great chat.
discussion.
Yeah.
Very good
Great chat, ladies.
discussion. Very nice. Thank you guys. Bianca, thank you for moderating. I still want to say modifying. It's not correct. It's moderating. Everybody give Bianca some love. She does not
Yes.
have to do this. We do not pay mods. They do this out of the kindness of their heart. They volunteer their time to us. So thank you, Bianca. Give her some love. Put some hearts in the chat or flow some hearts there for her to let her know that she's appreciated. You guys really don't make her work for it anyway. So, but it's nice to have her. Yep.
It
And
is.
Run for Justice.
I
are
want to
also
see her
coming.
like kick someone out one of these days.
She may have in the past. Well, and the people she'd have to kick out are
She
busy on
might
another.
have to tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, and the people she'd have to kick out tonight are there. There's a lot of places that people could be on YouTube tonight with a live show, and we are fortunate that that you guys were with us and that you watch us. But the people that
Yes.
she'd have to kick out are not here. They're on their other lives tonight, and so she doesn't have to work too hard for it, which is great. But I appreciate it so much. So until next time, thank you guys for being in the chat. Thank you, Patrick, for coming up and speaking. I hope you guys will come see us next week. In the meantime, connect with us. You know how to find us. We're all over the place. You guys have a great night.
True. Night, Amber. Night, Tara.
Good
Good
night.
night, guys.
Night, John Boy.
Bye.
Bye, guys.